Hi everyone, Pastor Winston here. I want to welcome you to this great day, this Friday in December. Everyone at the church is starting to heal up and things are looking better there. We're going to jump right in. This is kind of a long one today. It's on Jesus' prohibition against oaths, and it's in Matthew 5, verses 33 through 37. I'm going to read that to you now. Again, you have heard that it was said to those of old, "You shall not swear falsely, but shall perform to the Lord what you have sworn." But I say to you, do not take an oath at all, either by heaven, for it is the throne of God, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. And do not take an oath by your head, for you cannot make one hair white or black. Let what you say simply be yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. And there's an impressive second opinion from the book of James, chapter 5, verse 12. But above all, my brothers, do not swear, either by heaven or by earth or by any other oath. But let your yes be yes, and your no be no, so that you do not fall under condemnation. You know, this is probably the hardest command to keep. And not that we keep any of them really that well, but this is a tough one. Literal interpretation of this command really sort of collapsed with Constantine, as Christians who would be officers or military men were asked to swear an oath to the emperor. So that even by the 5th century, Augustine wrote this: Christians should reject oaths unless required by the state, and it is for a good purpose. But there are other evasions, so to speak, in our own age. John MacArthur wrote this: make no oath at all means oaths are to be used only on important occasions. Or take the dramatic case found in the end times posturing of dispensationalism. In the Scofield Bible, in a preface to the Sermon on the Mount, Scofield states that the Sermon on the Mount is the way the kingdom will be governed once it is established on earth, and therefore does not apply to our present age, because in this age, the privilege and duty of the church is found in the epistles. In short, the Sermon on the Mount is not for our time, but for a future age. Thus, its commands are not to be taken literally. So in one master stroke, he eliminates half the teachings on the historical Jesus that's found in the New Testament, especially those in the synoptic gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, as Jesus is not to be taken literal. Well, that's dangerous territory when you think about it. It's comparable on one side to your liberal theologians that pick and choose from Scripture. But in any event, you also read the major confessions like the Westminster, the Heidelberg, and others, and they basically are in favor of the oaths, but to be taken with deadly seriousness, that these are not to be taken lightly if taken at all, but sometimes they are necessary. You sort of get that flavor even in the Westminster, which tends to commend that. But in any event, what you find in this over the ages is that people in the church have often taken oaths, and many times with a bad conscience. So what's really to do here? First of all, is to realize that there's, through the Anabaptists, the Quakers, and the Mennonites, have brought forth legislation that allows them to affirm a statement rather than to swear an oath. And that's a good thing, and that's being recognized by a lot of states and a lot of courts in that respect. The other thing to do is sort of get the big picture, what Jesus is trying to do here with grace and truth. He wants his disciples to be truthful. He wants their yes to be yes and their no to be no, because he knows that trustworthiness in the Christian community is paramount importance. He wants us to be able to be not only trusted with each other, but be trusted by the general population and community. That when a Christian says yes, they mean yes. And when their no is, they say no, they mean no. These are all things that are really critical for Christian life. And finally, he just wants really the simple truth to remain among us. Our yes is yes and our no, no. So ponder these things this week. Wrestle with them. And just remember, you're saved by grace through faith. It's not of your own, but a gift of God, not of any works, so no man may boast. God bless you and have a great week.